Hello. You know, with the weather being so bad, I thought I'd give you an introduction to some of my bronze collections. I've got some horse buckles here, then I'll show you another set of the paraphernalia that goes with them, human buckles, and then some miscellaneous bronzes, which I find quite interesting. I like bronzes. But as you can see, I've got a fair few buckles because I live in a field system where they had to rely an awful lot on horses. So what I'm going to do is just give you a look at these. All different shapes and sizes. These, I think, are possibly of dog collars. But these, well, look at this. Most of these are real solid. See them? Massive solid efforts. Clang. This one, for some reason, was made thin. And of course, he just couldn't take the strain and it cracked. You get very few of these because they didn't make them after a while. But there we go, look. Buckles, buckles. And more buckles. All with these sort of interesting lifted up bits on the edge, look. I'm not really into the names of buckles, I get them because I live in this kind of area where they're prolific. I mean, they jump out the ground at me. This was interesting. I thought there was an iron blob on here, and then somebody said, no, they used to have these buckles with an iron knob on the end of the tongue, and it fitted into a brass slot. And I thought, oh well, live and learn. Here we go, look, getting quite big now. All of cart horses, these. Work horses, the cars of their day. Oh my goodness, I'll have to come farther away because they're getting bigger and bigger. Oval ones, square ones. Oh, and then these with the raised bit in the middle. They got a name for those, but I just can't think of it at the moment. So look, interesting. I like buckles. Couple here, rather. I have never seen a buckle like this ever, anywhere. It is absolutely huge. I got it near a Cromwellian guardhouse, where they had, was it the Royalists? No, I think it was the Roundheads were actually guarding this road up out of the town. So I thought it might have come off a gun carriage or something, but never seen one like that, and nobody seems to be able to put me wise on it. This is a quite an interesting one. I understand they're quite rare. So there you go, buckles. Now I'll show you the horse paraphernalia that goes with them. So I'll see you in a moment. Part 2, human buckles. I think they're to do with humans anyway. Right, one thing when you're digging up buckles, be very careful. They're very brittle and they break, especially when they're old. Now, I regard these as human because the fancy and the light. Look, these are hat buckles, I think, or shoe buckles, and that was never on a horse. Look at that, intricate. Yeah, these are definitely human buckles. Sometimes, depends where you get them from, the bronze is really good. Square ones, buckles. This one came from Atamayaskar. It's about 1700s. I found a George II 1750 coin quite near it. The rest of these, they're pretty local. They're coming from round where I live. Especially these. These are sash buckles. They're very lightweight. Very lightweight. But they were to go with sashes. and that one was for the cricket club. This is a piece, Band of Hope, anti-drinking campaign, that one was. These are all 18th, 19th century. And here, oops, I always get them upside down. This was the Great Eastern, the cable laying ship that put the cable across from Europe to America. All sash buckles, those. Then you get sort of webbing buckles, a lot of these types things, army buckles. I think this is off a watch. I think. These tiny little, I think these are to do with humans, not horses. Now, the rings which, well, legitimately, some of these rings were made into buttons, Dorset buttons, but I found here the proof that they were actually, a lot of them were for braces, look. That's where the one side and the other side of the braces went on a human, holding your trousers up. So I like it when I find the bits of leather intact and you get the story. Rings, oh, I wonder if this is a human finger ring. Well, you know, when you get a finger ring, I think there's no doubt about it. They are rings, you know. Especially when they're like this with that, see that little butterfly? It's only got one wing left. I think it's a bee. And they were fertility rings with the bee and the royal jelly and all that lot. Oh, if that had been silver, it'd be melting. And while we're here with the human bit, clog clasps. That is a clasp. The clogs had wooden soles, but they had leather uppers, which most people think, nah, they were all wood. No, they weren't. And that one went into the hasp, which was on the other side, and you pulled it tight and you put it into the appropriate hole like that, and you clipped it. Clog clips, lots of them around my neck of the woods. It's textile mills and everything. And then you get garter buckles for fixing garters. I thought some of these were fairly old, and then I think I found a modernish one. Well, modern, maybe 40, 50-year-old. Exactly the same as this that I found deep down on a Georgian site. Maybe design doesn't change. This one, aha. Now this is, what, 1650 or something. It's a spur buckle for fastening your spurs on. My goodness. Didn't come from here. I had to go about 50 miles away to pick this one up. Now this, which I thought was a buckle, and I thought, yeah, and then somebody put me right. It's a picture frame for a miniature photo, a miniature picture. They wouldn't have photos then. Looked like a buckle, big fancy buckle. I thought, yeah, but no, it's a picture frame. So there you go. A touch of the human type buckles. Mainly recognised as being used by humans because they're thin and narrow and delicate and tend to break. Look. There you go. On to part 3, which will be paraphernalia connected with the horses and buckles. Here we go, part 3, bits associated with horses. There's plenty of these lying around in the fields, but mainly they're iron and they've rusted away, but occasionally I come across a nice bronze setup, bronze chains. Lots of these in iron, but we get them in bronze. Nice bronze rings, look, nice bronze rings. Loads and loads and loads. Now, if you look at, let's compare these two. I'll put these two together. One here, hardly worn, not worn at all. This one really worn, thin, look, in the corners. That one's been used for hundreds of years. and that one hasn't. I love this sport, you know, you find all sorts of history and find out about everything. Do you see this? See this torque? See this, what I thought was a Roman torque bracelet, Celtic? It's for reins, it's a turret. I found this one complete, look. It's broken off the top. That's the way they made them back in those days. They went on to making them in one piece, look, like that. But in the early ones, very early ones, they came round and into this top piece. And that one's broken out. So, sorry, not Celto, Romano-British, Anglo-Saxon torque. It's a Georgian turret for the reins. There's a square one. I'm not quite sure how that fitted to things because there's no connector. This was a beauty. Oh, all thought this was for a musket that held the barrel to the wood, and that's where the lanyard went through. But again, it's some fancy arrangement for the reins on a horse and a carriage. Oh, disappointment. And then we come on to horse brasses. This is a rosette one which has fallen apart, but one of those rosettes, where they get the paper ones these days, they got metal ones in the old days. Polished them up, beautiful. Again, this was a rosette for the horse. This is what we call a horse brass these days. I mean, I've seen these on eBay, exact same shape. I mean, they're 2 or 3 years old. This is 200 or 300 years old. Beautiful. But again, these are horse brasses. They were polished bright, and then they had here where they had 2 very long strips of metal coming off each side like that, look, like that, and they went through slots in the leather harnesses and then folded up, and so that you could decorate the harness with all of these bright shining horse brasses. That's what they are. So when you come across them and you think, oh, and a lot of them had names on, but none of these have, unfortunately. But I do have one, which I'm going to show you in the next clip, which is a beer barrel, and it went on the horse with the beer barrel. So there you go, bits of paraphernalia. See you in section 4. Bye. Okay, section 4, miscellaneous bronzes. You'll appreciate, actually these are all coming from the last 12 months or so. I live in a very good area for this kind of stuff. Let's just start with badges, you know, army badges. Do very well for army badges where I am. Not as well as I did 30-40 years ago. I mean, the place was wick with them then, which means there was a lot. But they're still to be found now in the fields. Now, you might be wondering why I keep these taps. Look, they're just bronze taps, but they're special taps. And this hammerhead, this bronze hammerhead, they had, when they were working in the fields, they took the kegs of beer with them, and these are beer taps. That pointed bit went into the hole in the beer keg, which if you see here, this is a horse brass that I got, and there's the hole that the tap went into, like that. This would be worn on the horse's harness or somewhere on the cart, and there was little pegs off all of those where the irons broke off, which bent over, kept it in place. So that went through into that hole, and they used a hammer on that little knob bit on the end there, look, specially made to hammer it into the keg. Bang, bang, bang. So they're not just old taps, they've got a history, these. Someone 200 years ago was drinking ale that came out of that tap in a country field in England. I love history. Now, some of these taps didn't have the actual key mechanism, and this is a key that was used to do those kind of taps. You know, without the key you didn't get your ale, so the boss had that. Now the best one of these I've ever got is this one. I mean, look at the size of this, it's dainty. But that is a work of art. What a little belter. Got the old thing on the end there for hammering it in. Like that. It's one of my prized possessions. Okay, so let's continue this way. Bull rings. Now, being an exporter or a climber, I thought carabiners were a climbing invention. But no, they had them 200-300 years ago on the rings for putting through the noses of bulls. They come in part, look. You shove it through its nose and then you screw it together through there, little screw. Well, you've got a ton of angry bull on the other end. There's half of one. So they're bull rings. Now, what we got here? Oh, key. Oh, this is another of my prized possessions. Look at that. This is for an old farmhouse door or a church or something. It is a magnificent bronze key. Came out of the ground like that. Couldn't believe it. The only little flaw is that bit on the top, and it proves it's real. It's where they cast it, look. There just wasn't enough metal to fill that last little bit in on the top. But, oh, like that. I like me bronze. Now, this is a keyhole cover. It was to draft proof. They had great gaping big keyholes in the old days, and the wind had howled through it. So they had draft proofers on, which they just moved out, put the key in, and then it slid back down, stopped the draft coming through the holes. Practical. Candle snuffer. Love it. For snuffing out candles. This was on a long stick, but it's broke off, and they just plonk, plonk, put the candle out. A pastry cutter for cutting pastries. Why this was out in the middle of the field, I don't know. I don't think they had pizza then. But it would be for cutting up cakes and things. Very religious those days. This is the metal bronze cover of a miniature Bible. Brilliant little thing. Here, trigger off a pistol. Trigger guard, I should say, off a pistol. So they were shooting up there in the fields. A bronze weight, but it's got all the hallmarks on it. Now, I actually found this when I went over to see with one of Lee's fields, Lee and Scott, and it proved that the field we were in was used as a market, because I found quite a fair few silver coins and stuff in that particular field. But that, it would have been an old market. What have we got here? A lion clasp. It's the clasp for holding a cape together. And the police used them, and the high-ranking military. The other one's missing. And guess what? It's a police whistle. Oh, I like it when it all comes together. Now, some of the, let's see, scarf clasps, the jewellery and bronze and copper jewellery, they're brilliant. These would be late 19th century. Very nice. Very nice. You've got to appreciate that this is only a fraction of what I've got. I'm just showing you what I think it will appeal. Love this. Oh, I loved it when I got this. It's off a gas lamp fitting. It came out from the wall, and then this was attached to it as well, all highly decorated. I like my birds. I'll give you the tweet when that comes on. And best of all, I suppose, with bronzes is coins, isn't it? I'll show you the weirdos first. Hit by a bullet. They used to use them for rifle practice. This one, poor thing, got it by a multiple shot. This came out of a shotgun. Look at that wallop. This one, this came off Kilnsey Crag, which was a limestone crag where there was thousands of coins on it. But being in the limestone, they didn't corrode. And they kept like this. Fabulous condition. Not like what I get round here. Right, this is a cartwheel penny, George III, which I just buffed up a bit with a Brillo pad. Oh, sacrilege. One of the Vicky coppers, nice one, very nice. Victorian bronze, oh no it isn't, it's George V, that's my birthday, 1939, bronze penny. Oh, let's see, George II, 1750, Irish, when the Irish labourers came over. This is George III, 1799. I get a lot of 1806s, but I get a lot of 1799s as well. That one is in very good condition. Nice little coins, these. Which one's this? 1948? Is that 43? Farthings, look at that. Oh, the odd foreign coin comes through in really good nick. And look at this, 1862. Oh, it's misprinted, that. Might be worth a bob. The old Vickies. So that's the end of your look at my bronze collection. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned a thing or two. When I started this, came back into it about just over 12 months ago. I found a lot of things, I put them onto YouTube, and you've been very good to me, and you've been telling me what they are. So within the last 12 months or so, my knowledge has increased tremendously. Didn't know half of what I'm telling you 12 months ago. But this is thanks to the viewers and keeping me up to date. So if I've done anything wrong now, let me know. I don't know it all. But thanks to you lot, I know an awful lot. Anyway, good luck, happy hunting, get yourself out there and get stuff found. Bye. Oh, where should I go? Oh, where should I go? Oh, where should I go? What should I leave you with? Oh, so much, so much. I'll leave you with the key. Get yourself a key to success. Bye.